3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hi guys, welcome back to the Sports Shift with me, Ian Marquez. Today we're going to be covering more NFL content, recapping all this weekend's action. Let's get started. Alright, so what a weekend of NFL that was. Some pretty intense games, some standout scorelines. We're going to cover everything. Let's get started. So as you already know, covering the Thursday night game, Eagles came back, a good second half performance to take care of Washington and take control of that division. Now getting into our Sunday games. Dolphins, Tua is back, Tua is cooking. Let's see how long he can stay healthy. If he can stay healthy for the rest of the season, I don't see why the Dolphins don't make the playoffs. You know, Cheetah playing with an injured wrist, but that's not stopping him from getting his touchdowns. Raiders are in a bit of a standstill. Like, I don't see where this team really goes from here. Is Aiden McConnell the guy? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. You know, Mark Davis has never been the patient kind. Antonio Pierce, he seems to have the guys fighting, but to what end? They're going with Gardner Minshew right now. You know, always know we're getting with Gardner Minshew. He's going to be a really good backup, but he's never going to be able to cut it as a starter. Moving ahead, my Saints, 2 wins in a row. Offense seems to be clicking. MVS, man, what an acquisition that was. Another touchdown for him. Taysom Hill is back in the action. He provides a great 1-2 punch with Derek Carr. Stretches out the offense. They always have to account for him running, as they saw this weekend. Another touchdown for him. All in all, pretty convincing weekend for the Saints. I think they have a chance to run for the division. I'm not getting my hopes up because it is the Saints, but it's possible. It's possible. The Colts versus the Jets. You know, those poor Jets fans. Whenever you think it can't get any worse, the hole just gets deeper, man. Anthony Richardson, fresh off the bench last week, putting out a win for the Colts, trying to fight for those playoffs. He's back and he did it with his legs. You know, a young quarterback. Jets didn't seem to know what to do, and as a result today they fired their GM. Are they going to have more firings for the Jets? We don't know. Already fired a head coach, fired the GM. I guess they're kind of stuck with Aaron Rodgers for now. Can you cut your losses? I'm not sure what the cap situation is saying, but it's just not looking good for the Jets. Happy for Anthony Richardson to get another win though. The people are so impatient with rookies these days. I guess you have to be, otherwise the coach is going to be in trouble. But they always need time to develop, and another win in the win column. The Vikings. I'm starting to understand what's happening with the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold, he's not that great. He's, I would say, regressing to the mean as more of a game manager, being okay, maybe just above average, and just trying not to make any mistakes. They have a good enough defense that they should be able to handle most games if he can just do his job. Try not to throw too many picks. Let's look at the stats. Right, 20 of 32, 246 yards with 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's all you can ask. A very decent game. No problems with that. Don't beat yourself is the main thing. Let the other team make the mistakes. Will Levis, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Just above 50% completion. He's still trying to figure out himself, trying to develop. But Vikings chasing down the Lions, and that is going to make a very interesting finish to the division. Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. You know, like, Green Bay is just one thing that they can't get over. Another win for the Packers at the Bears. Let me just see. This is the Packers' 26th win in 29 games. And I mean, everyone remembers Rodgers saying how he owns the Bears. The Packers definitely do own the Bears. Another loss for Caleb Williams. Yeah, so Shane Waldron fired as offensive coordinator for the Bears, as we saw coming. You know, something's just not clicking, and you're going to try your best to help Caleb Williams develop however possible, so you have to put the pieces around him to make it happen. Moving on to the next game. Jacksonville Jaguars against the Detroit Lions. The Lions putting up 52 points to a meager 6 points from the Jaguars. Man, the Lions are just on a roll. They take up big entries and it doesn't seem to affect them. Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, all getting their touchdowns and just racking up the points, man. This team fights for each other. They work hard and they're getting it done. The Lions have suffered for a while, so it's a really good time to be a Lions fan. Everyone is loving what Dan Campbell is doing. He has the team fighting. I mean, Jared Goff, 24-29, 412 yards, 4 touchdowns. What more can you ask for? He's like the epitome of a game manager, and when he has to pull out a throw, he's been pulling out the throw over the last 2 seasons. He can't knock it. Those Lions, man. The Vikings are chasing them, but I don't see who's stopping them. The Lions look really good. Another injury for Alex Anzalone. That's another big piece, but people have just been stepping up, filling in the shoes, and finding a way. Moving on to LA. LA scraping past the Patriots 28-22. Let's just check out that record over there. Yeah, Matt Stafford just a casual 295 yards for 4 touchdowns, you know. Same old, same old. Drake May putting up some yards. 30 out of 40, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Not too bad. You can't really ask for much more from Drake May. But as expected, Sean McVay clever enough to get it done. Puka Nacua, 7 receptions, 123 yards, 1 touchdown. He's that guy, man. Him and Cooper Kupp are such a great 1-2 duo at wide receiver, and it's enjoyable to watch. Now, one of the biggest games of the week, fighting for control of the AFC North, we have Baltimore versus Pittsburgh. A very well-known rivalry that Pittsburgh has been taking control of in recent years, and it continued again this weekend. They managed to score 18 points without putting up a touchdown. Who else can do that besides Pittsburgh, you know? Putting out 18 points, Lamar tried his best, but the penalties, the picks, although it wasn't his fault, that was just a great defensive play from Wilson. But coming down to it, they weren't able to get the 2-point conversion to tie it late in the game. And once more, the Steelers, they don't really make mistakes. They don't beat themselves. They let the other team make the mistakes, and they just play hard and find a way. Russell Wilson was a little shaky throwing that pick, but once more, the Steelers win. And now they have sole control of the division. We'll look a little later at their record because they have some very tough matchups coming up. But never count out the Steelers. Now, one of the biggest surprises of the weekend, this divisional matchup in San Francisco, who San Francisco have won, like, I think 6 straight against the Seahawks. Geno Smith putting the Niners to sleep. Running in with his legs, that was the theme of the weekend. Running in with his legs late to seal the win for the Seahawks. Leaves both teams at 500 with the Niners at the bottom of the division. And it's got to wake up, man. Only 7 games left. Got to make a run for that division lead. And no more undefeated teams in the NFL. Kansas City Chiefs once more falling to the Bills in the regular season. And as was the theme of the weekend, Josh Allen doing it late with his legs to finish off the game. Bills look good, man. Bills have been quiet this season, not making waves. They've not been flashy, but they've been getting it done. They've been efficient. And when needed to, Josh Allen has been stepping it up. Do they have it to get past the Chiefs when the playoffs come? I still don't see it. The Chiefs just seem to have that edge. But the Bills look really good, man. Bengals versus the Chargers. As expected, a lot of points. Both offenses are clicking. The Bengals, I think Burrow has lost 7 times after putting up like 27 points or something like that. The offense for the Bengals has been on fire, but they've not been winning games. Their losses this season have to be some of the toughest losses for their fans. I don't see where they go. I guess we'll find out. The Chargers, though, looking really good, playing efficient American football, not making mistakes. Justin Herbert is on fire. Really enjoying watching him under Jim Harbaugh, and looking forward to next week. Battle of the Harbors. Who do you think is going to win? Let me know. The Texans overcome the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. The evening started with pieces of the ceiling falling, and I guess that's how it felt for Cowboys fans throughout the game. Texans taking control, dominating on the run, and CJ Stroud starting to find his feet. The defense had Cooper Rush under pressure the whole night, and in the end it was a controlled performance by the Texans. I'm sure they could have run up the score if they wanted to, but they just dominated, maintained control, and wiped out any chance of the Cowboys catching up. The Cowboys, who knows where they go from here. We saw Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb getting visibly frustrated. I mean, they want to compete, and it's just falling apart, so there's no surprise there. Texans with a much needed win, end that losing streak and get back to winning ways. So those are the games for this week. What upset stood out to you guys? Let me know. For me, it had to be the Seattle Seahawks getting over that hump of the Niners in the regular season. You know, the Niners have beat them the past six times, and I guess the Seahawks felt like it would never happen. But Geno Smith found a way to do it with his legs, as was the team of the week. I'd say night to the Niners. A much needed win puts them at 500 for the season, and now has 3 teams in that division at 500, with the Cardinals just 1 game up. The division is anyone's for the taking, and it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. So what's the worst team in the league? Well, only one team allowed 52 points this week, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. A 2-9 record, one of the worst records in the league. They're in line for the number 1 pick. I guess we'll see if they tank or not. It was such a promising season last season, and a huge playoff win against the Chargers after that halftime comeback has just fallen apart this season. Do they keep faith in Doug Peterson? Is Doug Peterson the guy? It was Mac Jones playing, so we know what we're going to get from Mac Jones by now. Not too surprising, but everything is just falling apart in Jacksonville to the split up. We know most NFL teams don't show patience these days, and we know the owners in Jacksonville aren't known for their patience, so we'll see how he handles it, but I think changes are coming. So now who are the best teams in the league? Well, one team ended the last undefeated team this season, and the other team has the best record in the NFC. That's the Buffalo Bills and the Detroit Lions. Buffalo is just playing some well-rounded football. Took down the Chiefs in the regular season, as they love to do. And once they stay healthy, I think they're in for a good run in the playoffs. See if they can finally overcome the Chiefs in the new year. But they look really good. Josh Allen is playing safe football. He's not being too risky. When called upon, he's making big plays. We already saw how Amari Cooper was talking about the culture, how everyone hangs out with each other, they all play for each other. It's a great team spirit, and it's looking up in Buffalo. On the other side, in the NFC, Detroit is just dominating anyone that is sat in front of them. Putting up 52 points against the Jaguars, only allowing 6 points in return. Offense is clicking on all cylinders. Jared Goff, when called upon, is making the big plays. Otherwise, he's being safe and efficient. That defense, whenever there's an injury, next person up is stepping up, filling those boots, and they're just playing some well-rounded football. They look good all around, and the sky is the limit for the Detroit Lions. So let's look at my picks now. Straight up, we went 9-4. Not a bad week, but there is room to improve. Thanks to the Ravens, the Jets, the Bengals, and the Niners. Ravens, I mean, we're not too surprised, right? It's the Steelers. You know that that's their bogey team. Niners, we're a bit surprised. It's a bit surprising that the Seahawks are able to one-up them. I mean, the Seahawks are the Niners regular season team. Like, that's always a lot. But, you know, that's life. And the Jets, remind me never to pick the Jets again, man. Like, I have no faith in the Jets anymore. Looking at our TD parlay, as with every parlay, it misses by 1. No matter how many pieces you put, it'll miss by 1. So Derrick Henry and Jamar Chase, they wrapped it up early, both in fine form. Don't mind the Bengals, they losing. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow have been on fire. And Derrick Henry with a touchdown every single game this season. Although the Vikings won comfortably, Justin Jefferson was unable to get it done. Moving on to the not a lot parlay, or the 1-9 parlay. I did say that if there was ever a team that was going to let us down, it was going to be the Ravens. Why I kept faith in them this time? I mean, I thought I would have learned my lesson by now, but who knows. So, the Ravens let us down this week. However, next week we're going to get all green and both of our parlays are going to hit. That's going to do it for today's NFL content. Feel free to check out another video in the feed. This week we'll be looking at the AFC and NFC standings, as well as predicting their wins for the rest of the season. We'll also be previewing the games this weekend, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, see you guys later.